Ooh, okay. Y'all. Hey. I am right now at the lake. Y'all know I love me a good lake. And I obviously y'all just hit play. Well, not hit play. I just pressed record because I'm out here doing some spiritual cleansing, and I know that is what most people follow me for, my spiritual journey. So, yeah, y'all, I'm just out here allowing myself to think, feel, react, all of that stuff, which, believe it or not, I don't do as often. This is probably one of my most vulnerable moments. Well, so the word of the day is definitely vulnerability, and I have been working on that, challenging myself in that area so that um, I can be more open to love, definitely as it relates to loving myself, but also as it relates to welcoming love from outside people. Because I'm obviously the one always giving love and good vibes and positivity and all that good stuff, which I so love and so appreciate. Like, y'all don't get that twisted. However, what I have realized is it's not as easy for me to receive. So that's that wounded masculine energy and that wounded feminine energy, all that stuff. So I've been exploring that over the past few weeks. It's honestly been pressing at me more and more, just because it's the simple reality of like I think I'm actually getting to the point where I know that I want and desire love. Like my mom just got married. Well, she been married, y'all. So she just had her dream wedding, which I was so thankful to be a part of. And outside of that, just not being in a long term relationship in a while. If you follow my journey, you know I posted some videos on that. I had been experiencing that, and honestly thought I was doing a good job. Still, yeah, still think I did an overall good job as it relates to the awareness of the breakup process and what that needed to do for me, how I needed to transform, how I needed to heal, let go, and like, just become a new person. Come on, trees and wind. um, yeah, so definitely that was really big for me. The video I had did on y'all, that's actually the same lake I'm at now. I really wanted to emphasize on the trees right now, and plus just on like little setup I had anyway. But I think doing those rituals and just allowing myself to acknowledge that I went through what I went through, and it's okay to talk about it, and it's okay to acknowledge that these things impacted me. Hi. People in North Carolina are so nice, y'all. They just smile and wave. Yeah. So anyway, y'all, I basically had to acknowledge and admit that in the way that I was impacted by, like, the breakup, the heartache it brung me and all that stuff. So I had processed it, and now looking back, I honestly think I processed it just briefly, or maybe like I just processed a portion of it for that time, because I'm now becoming more aware of how that impacts me on I guess you could say on a daily basis, especially now since I tell myself that I'm being open to love and I desire love, I want a relationship and all that. So I think for me, it comes to the more self-awareness and a reality check, because y'all know I'm really big on that. So I think me just needing to dig a little bit deeper. Yeah, y'all know I'm already so deep, so it do be a lot. I'm working on releasing a lot of resistance, as it relates to even acknowledging, digging deeper, and needing to explore more and making connections about how it relates to my life right now, how it applies. Because honestly, y'all, this was like 3 years ago. So I think, yeah. Well, I feel like I was going through a breakup for like 3 years. Whatever the hell that means. Listening at myself now. But yeah, and it's crazy because I'm still at a place to where I'm not fully healed from, like, past relational traumas, because like, especially now since I just realized, okay, I want a relationship, I want to open up and all that good stuff. I realized that some I get some of the same triggers, y'all. Triggers, right? This is some really good water, by the way. I still can only find it in Sheets. I know people were telling me other places, but I don't know what happened with that. But going back to the triggers and stuff. So all I can say is, y'all, same test, different wording, because when I tell you, I've so told myself, like, I'm past this, and honestly, a lot I really did get past. So, like, I have been able to process things that I have grown, and also things that, I'm still triggered by, which is a need for me to be vulnerable and open and even acknowledge that, okay, I'm still triggered by these things. So I don't know if y'all knew it or not. It really wasn't anything to know, because I honestly didn't want to go public. It wasn't really that big of a need, because that content piece was honest. But now I think about it, it was bigger than what it was, because I tried to save it, and I tried to save him for so long. But you get what I'm saying, y'all. The fact of the matter is, my ex left me to be with a man. And I know that sounds deep, right? Yeah, it is. But it's like, y'all, that's not even it. Like, I think it boils down to, like, what I learned about my for one, my self-awareness, my intuition, my spirituality. Because when I tell y'all, it was so many signs and downloads and revelations that I just refused to acknowledge, like, for the longest time, and I'm just so proud of myself for even being able to speak up about it now, because I think I went so into my head, like, oh my goodness, how is this gonna make them look? How is this gonna make me look? And it's like, no, y'all, like, people are human. At the end of the day, that man deserved to be happy, like, and I think I'm proud of myself for sparing it, because I was probably at a processing point of rage to where I probably wasn't even able to fully understand, like, his side of the story, because obviously it's always two sides. And at the end of the day, like, we as humans, we all deserve to be happy. So the sexuality thing is neither here nor there. I think I was more hurt by, like, the not really being yourself, being the idea of being in love with somebody that I thought was being a full authentic self. You get what I'm saying? But it's definitely, it's deeper than the surface, y'all. It gets so deep. So one thing I can say, I do feel somewhat, well, I guess not, y'all, because honestly, I think about guys, and I think about, are they interested in other men? But one thing I can say is not in a way to where it's like, oh my goodness, that'll be like the end of the world for me, like super duper heartbreak. I think it comes to more like, okay, can we talk about it? Are you that comfortable in your sexuality now to where we can talk about the things that may excite you and the things that may interest you? So sex therapy has helped me a lot, just being able to be on, I guess, the opposite end and hearing everybody else's perspective, because it's a real thing. Like, we're attracted to what we're attracted to. I'm more interested now in, like, knowing if you are aware of why you're attracted to what you're attracted to, and how do you notify people, like, because at the end of the day, I think if it wouldn't have been so hidden, if I had obviously not found out the way I found out, and, like, stuff like that, it would have made all the difference. Because, like, what people do and what they into is just really just a thing, to be completely honest. Like, I'm not that person about that. Again, I think it was more so, especially the mental process, when I was so, vulnerability is the word for today. I was so open, and I was so vulnerable, and I was so, like, oh my goodness, like, I know that has to be a lot for you. Like, you're basically not living in your full authentic self. Like, this is obviously something that you are fully into, and it's like, why not acknowledge that? So I think, especially me having that wake up call of being so like, oh my goodness, like, let's help you, like, let's get you some help, like, let's get you some mental peace, because obviously that was, like, such a trigger point. So at the end of the day, y'all, I am proud about how I processed it. I just hate that, I guess maybe for one, I didn't acknowledge it when I was getting the downloads, like, questioning myself so much, y'all. My sacral chakra was so popping, like, y'all, right now to this day, like, I cannot be sexually intimate with anybody that is not, like, on a intimate, or I guess, like, good vibrational, like, literally, like, y'all, like, I was sleeping with him and was, like, throwing up, like, in between sexual encounters, like, I kid you not. And I really was like, I was going to doctors thinking it was something wrong with me, and it was like, no, spirit was giving me downloads that I had no business, like, we had no business still having sex, and knowing that, like, he had that going on, what he had going on, especially, like, not to my knowledge at the time. So yeah, I just think is really unfortunate, especially as women, when we do find these things out and we tend to blame ourselves. I think that's why I really had to get up here and talk about it, because y'all, like, if you experience this, like, and I wish somebody had told me, but the thing is, people can't tell you if you don't speak up. We so ashamed to even talk about, like, this is what we experienced, because we ready to take the guilt. Like, honestly, I think I was taking on my partner at the time guilt, because they were unclear about what they wanted, and honestly probably knew what they wanted, but just wasn't secure enough in what that sexuality would look like for them, so they had to hide it. You get what I'm saying? But I just think ultimately, like, people need to talk about it, because at the end of the day, y'all, that ain't got shit to do with us. Like, people battle sexuality, people battle with, like, being authentic with themselves, knowing who they are. Like, people really give a fuck about what other people think, and I get it, it makes sense. Like, now, like, you know, exploring people's mental and knowing backgrounds, and like just knowing how every single fucking thing makes a part of somebody's life, it makes so much sense to me now. So I am thankful that I feel like mastered that part for sure, the ability to understand people. However, I think it just has everything to do with the boundaries that I hold now, what I desire, and just really, I think I just really, y'all, had to acknowledge and admit that, okay, I'm still triggered by this. And when I say triggered, I think triggered to the sense of me, damn, that is deep. What is the trigger? Because when I think of men, I question their sexuality, but that's not all men though. Like, spirit really be looking at, I really don't just go out here and be like, oh my goodness, like, he's not completely straight. Like, no, I don't do that. I think my main concern is running across somebody who has these ideas, or, like, you know, who's had these experiences in the past but are not confident in their sexuality now to be able to admit these things, because, you know, men are just so heterosexual, and it's like, yeah, okay, right. So yeah, just to be completely honest, I think that is definitely still a trigger for me, because I don't ever want to, I don't want to go in life, questioning my next partner in general, like, not about their sexuality, like their interests, they thought process, none of that. Like, I want to be able to really say that I know who I'm with, because I'm such an open and authentic person. Like, even when I go through shit, I process it, and I like for people to know who I am. So I love hard, and I want people that I love and care about I want to know them authentically, because I want to be able to say I really love them for them, if that makes sense. Yeah, so y'all, just I think being able to first admit and acknowledge that I'm still, like, you know, in a sense triggered by this, like, you know, and again, it's not even with all males. I think it's, and you know what, now that I think about it, it's the insecurity and confidence, because, like, you really got to be confident to be around me in general, like, because I know who I am, and I'm striving every single day to explore that and accept and acknowledge who I am, like, to its entirety. And I need that around me, because the last thing I need is to be questioning people, and I need somebody who's going to be, like, you know, open and understanding to what my triggers are, and to be sensitive to that with me, and, like, you know, help me grow along this process, because I am definitely still the fuck one. Like, it's probably, like, you know, I'm changing the Band-Aid out every now and again, but it's a little scar there. It's probably a little strawberry. It ain't no complete scab yet, but I am working on it, y'all. And believe it or not, doing stuff like this is so helpful, because YouTube is an outlet, or, like, just me recording myself and my journey is helpful for me. I'll be able to go back and look at it and look at the milestones, even going back and looking at the video from when I did the Burning Bowl ritual. I think that was like 7 months ago. That was in September. So I'm like, okay, you did good. And I remember going back and double back and doing one after that, actually talking about the sexuality, because I didn't even bring that part up. I did so much self-awareness and so much inner work, and I think what I did was I pulled it all onto myself, which was helpful. Like, I did need to acknowledge what was going on. I think I still didn't admit or accept, because I kind of feel like I kind of was knowing it was more triggering than I acknowledged. But again, that was that sparing piece. So believe it or not, y'all, this shit has really been a process, and I'm just ready to get to the end of it. Like, I'm ready to be at a place to where I'm like, again, like, I am open and ready for love. This past one is behind me, and I am, like, fully engaged and ready. Hey, Kiki girl. I see you texting me. I meant to, y'all. And then it's like stuff like that. I appreciate just people accepting the realness, and just being willing to grow, just like I'm willing to grow. I'm thankful that I inspire people. That's something I really had to get up here and talk about. And believe it or not, y'all, a lot of you not once, I did, like, I felt like open my heart up to it. Like I had somebody open up to me on some personal stuff and was like, hey, I was dating this guy and he actually wants to transition, like, wants to become a female. And I shared my story with her, and like, she was like, oh my gosh, sis, like, I love you, I appreciate you, thank you for that. And then, like, honestly, that was just like 2 weeks ago. So I know spirit was like, look, I just seen 15:15. I'm at 15 minutes and 15 seconds. So I'm like, I knew spirit was urging me with it. And the thing is, I honestly been knew spirit was urging me. Like, when you tell the truth, you got to tell the whole truth. And the thing is, I'm like, no. And honestly, I think it was still embarrassment. It was resentment. I felt ashamed. I felt guilty. I felt scared. I felt a whole lot of things, y'all, because this man was not, secure in himself, and I allowed that to be projected onto me. But not only that, I lowered my self-worth and my self-value because, y'all, I questioned myself. Like, that's the last thing. If you don't learn nothing, if you don't take nothing else from this video, do not question yourself. Because when I tell y'all I knew, I just didn't accept. Like, acceptance is every fucking thing. Like, y'all, because at the end of the day, we only chase ourselves and drive ourselves crazy when we refuse to admit what's right there. Like, spirit gives you that. And then, like, with the whole throwing up thing, like, y'all, like, and then the thing is, when I ventured off eventually, like, and experienced, like, explore intimacy with other people, I had none of that. I mean, granted, like, maybe one, oh, look at these, I see 2 red cardinals. I think one encounter, it was kind of, I was getting that nauseous feeling like I wanted to throw up again. I'm like, you ain't the one. So I realized at that moment, spirit, I kind of felt like gave me my pass, gave me my certification. Like, okay, girl, now you get it. Because that's when I did, honestly, y'all, start to get woke in my spiritual journey and, like, start to tap in due to a love circumstance. And I'm thankful that I did, because that was like a big wake up call for me. I'm glad that I'm super self-aware and I'm willing to do the inner work, because I want to attract people that's authentic like me, like that's willing to process and grow through shit. And we talk about each other's triggers and traumas and all that stuff, because at the end of the day, y'all, we are the human race. Like, outside of the gender roles and all that, like, I really value to be understood. And I think a lot of people won't admit that. Like, we are honestly born into this world, y'all, to depend on people. Like, we don't just pop out. Like, we got it all together. And y'all know that was the hard pill for me to swallow, because I've been independent. I've been a boss since I was a little fucking girl, okay? Like, my mama made sure that she had an independent daughter. You get what I'm saying? I appreciate that. So I think what it really boils down to is me being vulnerable and admitting that it's processes to healing, and that I really need to admit my vulnerabilities more. Like, this was a vulnerable moment. Anytime I've came up on YouTube and talked about a breakup process, that was me being vulnerable, which I run away from so much. Even right now, a little situation I got going on where I really am into this person, and I feel like my reactions do the complete opposite. It's kind of like, okay, no, you ain't ready for me. And it's like, girl, no. Is you ready for him? Are you ready for yourself? Are you ready for this next step? So this full moon in Scorpio has really been guiding me and helping me do the inner work and helping me be self-aware and really just admit and face, like, okay, I'm really needing to let this shit go. Like, I don't want to be traumatized about just love all my life. Like, granted, I maybe got some daddy issues or some abandonment issues and stuff like that. However, this, like, relationship shed so much light as it related to what really are my wounds and stuff. So I think I need to openly talk about that, because that helps me, and obviously that helps people. Y'all know I'm all about helping the people, but I think the first step is always just admitting. Like, I sit in my journals, and y'all, my journal reflections over the past few weeks, they kind of just been more emotional as I've been, striving to tap into my emotions and stuff, which I'm so thankful for. So I appreciate spirit just answer my prayers, because I have been wanting to tap into my feminine side more, because y'all know the masculine energy is so easy for me to go to. It's just my dominant trait. So I think that alone has been very just revealing to me. I'll say that. The masculine and feminine energy imbalance. So I'm just thankful. I'm grateful. I'm alive. I'm well. I'm healthy. And I'm going to sit out here and journal for a little bit. Shout out to my mentee, Jaquita, for this birthday gift project 369. This is actually, I'm going to dedicate this to, like, opening up my love life and stuff like that. So me and my husband, y'all, we'll be able to look at this together and say, like, oh, you manifested me. We did it. Because he's somewhere manifesting me right now, y'all. I definitely trust and manifest that my next partner is somewhere getting his shit together, okay? For him, for us, because I'm doing it for me, I'm doing it for us, and, like, all the people in relationships to come down the line. So, and it's Wednesday, so I am actually going to pull a few cards. Yes, let's pull some cards for the YouTube channel. Because I'm actually going to help my friend Shamika today. Shout out to Noble Empress. I'm going to help her today. So, let's see. Yes, ride or die. It's hardly that. Y'all know I love this that. So, and the thing is, I said Wednesday my topic for YouTube was going to be, like, what are your blockages in love? So, real quick, we're just going to get some general messages. What do y'all need to know as it relates to, just some blockages in your love life, right? Because you said you ain't got time, and it's somebody that miss you. That would be me, y'all, because I swear I ain't got time for people, and I don't want to date, but my little heart is like, oh my goodness, girl, you want love so bad, you want to be in a relationship so bad, but it's like, y'all, I want a relationship so bad, and I really emphasize doing the inner work, and I want to make sure that I'm healed. I don't want to project, like, hurt and wounds onto anybody else. Like, maybe that's impossible too, but it was like, no, all things are impossible. Y'all see how my mind works? That's really how I be, like, but yeah, it's okay. If y'all got any tips or strategies for me, help me out. Please leave me a comment below or something, because yeah. Ooh, the divine energy oracle. Let's do that. Ooh, who a hoe? Yeah, I'm about to go ahead and put that up. Oh, that could be the blockages in your love. So if you one of those people, I guess rather more promiscuous, you deal with hoes, or I don't know what it's shit hoe. Maybe the thing is you need to take account of it. Maybe shit, me too. Maybe spirit is like, girl, you too. Because I definitely represent the whole phase from time to time. I believe in people having that phase to where, like, they go hoe out, they explore and all that. And honestly, that probably was something that I needed to mention too. So maybe spirit checking me. I'm gonna be open and self-aware, because I realize with me is, I'll say no, I don't really want a relationship, but I want to go explore. I want to go, like, have fun. It'd be like, girl, like, the contradiction. No, you don't. So this would definitely be me, y'all. Don't right. Spirit got me together, and I literally just seen 22 minutes and 22 seconds. So this is spirit getting me together. Do y'all hear me? Like, unbothered, like, on the everything. So this is me. So spirit is, don't be like me. Don't be like that unhealthy wounded energy. Going through the whole phase, and I guess staying in the whole phase. The thing is, I don't stay in it. I think just don't. Spirit is trying to get me to download to say just don't feel like that has to be a thing, because I felt like that had to be a thing for me, and that's honestly wounded masculine energy, because that whole phase is basically you wanting love, you wanting affection. You just don't want to put the responsibility out to, like, do the emotional part that comes with it, which is clearly an imbalance in masculine and feminine energy. So this was me. This was my message, and if y'all follow me, this was y'all message too, because y'all probably feel like, oh yeah, like, let me go out and get pleasure, and, like, and make sure you check yourself, because that could be also wounded feminine energy, just feeling like you got to submit your body to a man, especially when you're not emotionally involved. And I used to do that too. And the masculine, wounded masculine would be like, okay, let me basically just go fuck off and not have no emotion involved. So it definitely worked both ways. So, whew, spirit, thank you. We out here being honest with the people, being honest with myself. This is the full moon energy cleanse at Scorpio, and baby, all I can say is, we just letting that go. We letting it go. We letting go of relationships, people, patterns, behaviors, all that shit that do not serve us well, y'all. Like, we just got to. So maybe that was the blockages. I'm gonna get one more message from this divine energy oracle deck, because I got stuff to do today. That's why I said I had to get this out early this morning. I've been fasting. I have my moon water. I just been out here chilling, being grateful, and, like, allowing spirit to help me be vulnerable and open and stuff like that. I cannot believe spirit just basically let y'all know that I was a hoe like that. Maybe that's good though, because maybe people look at me as like, goody two shoes or whatever, which I'm very aware of. However, y'all, like, and the thing is, I don't know what to tell y'all. This definitely got everything to do with how y'all view me, because at the end of the day, I don't really know what's up with that. And then it's like, to each his own as it relates to being a hoe. Y'all know I'm big on, like, women can do what the hell they want to do too if men can do it. So it's like, maybe that's where that come in at. But then y'all know I'm not your average female, feminine female. Come with very masculine and dark traits. So whatever that means, whatever spirit wanted me to go that way, because maybe somebody was trying to justify that they not really a hoe like I be doing, or like I used to do. But yeah, it got everything to do with probably that, because I can sit and justify why I'm not a hoe, but to somebody, that whole stuff or what I was doing or whatever I was engaging in was being a hoe, point blank period. And shit, it clearly was being a hoe to me if I'm calling it the hoe phase. Which but that's funny because I always named it the hoe phase, because I know people label that as a hoe phase. I don't really think it's being a hoe. I think you just living your life. But I also now understand that was coming from wounded masculine energy, because everybody wants, value and intimacy and emotional connection and all that. So I get it, Spirit. Thank you. I'm gonna look back on this Monday and probably be laughing out loud, because this definitely got me together. Because I'm like really trying to justify, like, who is being tight? Girl, you. Yes, you and that whole energy, girl. Let that shit go. Thank you, Spirit. So let's see what else could be some other potential blockages. Ooh, address your addictions, Spirit. Okay, so this I will wholeheartedly own. Addictions as it relates to like obsession, like really just being so obsessed about love, and not even in a good way, like really just, again, that's those traumas and triggers, obsessing about all the things that could go wrong, or obsessing about being hurt again, or obsessing about, again, like shit just is not going right. So definitely let that go, Spirit. I thank you for that download, that message. That's me. It's clear. Y'all see how it was easy for me to accept that, but hard for me to accept that whole card. Woo, transitioning, boy. But I'm also learning to let go of resistance. So, Spirit, I thank you for that, because I would have, I would have sat and justified that if I wouldn't have been prepared to release resistance, because I also understand that's the thing. And if I want to be open to love and, intimacy and all that, because I know my future partner somewhere coming across this video like, damn, I can't wait to marry her, because she's just so real. Yeah, so that was, address your addiction. And I understand, for me, this comes from fear of abandonment, fear of, being left. And y'all know that's like a childhood thing. And y'all know I love my mama, and she's an amazing mom, and she's so, does such a good job. She's so good and pure to people. And I think what I'm realizing lately is my fear of abandonment came from, probably more so her, in a sense, because, and then maybe that's those daddy issues too. I think it's like the both and. But I'm realizing just recently, y'all, that I was jealous of other kids that my mom used to love and care for, because they had my mom's love. I really didn't want to have to share my mom, because my mom treated everybody kids the same as she treated her kids. It was never no it was just never no love difference. So I think people were jealous of me because of the mom I had, and I'm jealous of them because I'm like, my mama fuck with y'all and love y'all just like her own kids. So what's the difference? So yeah, y'all, that was deep. And Spirit, I thank you for that. So yeah, y'all, address your addictions. Work on, just start to be mindful of why you out here, exploring people. Because when you think about it, it's because you want love, you want intimacy, and that's okay. Value that, honor that part of yourself. And just be open to love. I am doing the same, and I'm excited, y'all. I'm gonna be updating y'all pretty soon with some vlogs. Me and my man, we gonna be travel babes, okay? I like to travel. Y'all expect to see a lot more trees, nice beaches, and all that good stuff. And just continue to work on yourself. I thank y'all for supporting me, and shine your light and accepting me. And Spirit, I just really need to give more thanks to God above everything, because just giving me the courage to be open and be vulnerable with myself. And because honestly, when you open and vulnerable with yourself, it makes it easier for you to be vulnerable with other people. That's why I think it's like a win-win when I'm doing it this way. So I'm just thankful and grateful. Y'all see this spider definitely trying to run me out, and I'm about to, because I need to get on the road anyway. But I'm thankful. I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all. And thank y'all for always supporting me along my journey. And love yourself. Perfect way to end the message, y'all. This is great. Yes, yes, yes. Have a great day, y'all. I'll see y'all next week.